Economics? I think it is like buying and selling between buyer and seller. But to define economics, it is the studies of social science that focus on production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. In other way, human behavior as a relationship between end and scarce means which have alternative use.
Scarcity is an economic term which means when limited economic resources met with unlimited human wants. So, as we know, human main objective in the economy is to maximize their satisfaction. Due to this extent, they need to make the best decision out of the situation in order to maximize their satisfaction.
So as I have been involved in establishing a small business, I have experienced a situation where my resources such as raw materials and laborers are not enough to meet my wants to produce the goods that I wish to produce. So since my goal is just to maximize my profits and minimize my losses, I had to deal with the economic problem called as scarcity. So I think at some point in life, you need to deal with the problem of scarcity. It's just how we deal and solve with the problem.
Islamic economics can be defined as the study of human behavior concerning the diversity of desires and scarcity of resources that maximize falah both in this world and hereafter. In order to achieve falah, women need to manage the resources that deemed to be scarce efficiently. For example, controlling our desires. This is because uncontrollable desires can lead to resources to be scarce due to human misuse of resources itself in order to maximize their own self-interest.
SDG. SDG goals: responsible consumption and production. Because if I'm not mistaken, this goal is to ensure sustainable of production and consumption patterns within the society and reduce waste generation in maintaining the livelihood for the betterment of our environment to sustain the current and future generations. So I think it's related to this topic as it is based on how human behavior linked to scarcity of resources in this world.
Islamic economy is concerned with the well-being of the human, and it touches on many aspects of giving fair and justice distribution. Islamic economic view the economic problem of scarcity as when humans face relative insufficient economic resources due to unlimited human wants. Islamic economic view it as a test or fitna in this world. There are 5 questions that have been brought out in encountering our topic. The first question is, how does Islam view the concept of scarcity? The second question is, why is scarcity in commercial economic and socialist economic system different from Islamic economy? The third is, how in some cases scarcity is allowed in Islamic economy? The fourth question is, how do Islamic economy encounter scarcity problem? And the last question is, why is depletion of resources still happening in countries that adopt Islamic economy? However, expanding on the discourse of this topic, the real question is, how do Islam view scarcity? Is it any different from other economic systems? And how can we achieve Sustainable Development Goal 12? The best way to answer the concept of scarcity in the Islamic economy is from the divine revelation itself, which is from the Quran. In Surah Al-Qamar, verse 49, Allah states that all resources are owned by Him, and He can give as He likes and to whom He please. Absolute scarcity happens when there are no certain goods that cannot be substituted for others in the production side. Absolute scarcity is unrecognizable due to Allah have provided enough resources in this world. As resources are created by Allah in abundant amount, it is up to the decision of human on how to utilize it. Islam has emphasized the principle of watasiyah, a principle that encourages moderation, balance, and staying away from extreme in all areas of life, especially in consuming the resources. In that regard, Islam encourages us to be mindful when consuming the abundant resources in order to control our desire for moderation and to avoid excessive consumption. Islam places a high value on conserving the environment and the resources of the planet, given that the resources are also the creation of Allah. Absolute scarcity encourages resource exploitation at the expense of other people or the environment. Therefore, it is not recognizable because it can harm our environment and have a bad impact on our ecosystem. Furthering our discussion, it is emphasized that Islamic economics recognizes the issue of scarcity. However, it only recognizes relative scarcity. It is defined when we are dealing with human behavior in making choices and in managing resources based on Sharia to achieve falah and maslahah. This concept primarily happens because the lack of access to the available resources. Lack of access to water is not rooted because of Allah, who has not created an abundance of water supply. However, it is caused by human behavior, who is using it in not the correct way. Lack of knowledge may also lead to relative scarcity. Humanity must seek knowledge by looking for the availability of resources. Since knowledge is limitless, sustainable technologies have been adopted, such as by generating energy with bladeless wind. However, the majority of our energy is still met by non-renewable resources like coal and oil. Even though Allah abundantly produced these resources, if mankind utilize them carelessly, they will soon run out. When the available resources are not being fully explored, someone will take unlawful action to fulfill his desires. A person who is consumed by his unlimited wants would believe that they can make use of all the numerous resources. This could lead to inefficient utilization of the resources at hand. In Malaysia alone, we have produced more than 38,000 metric tons of solid trash per day in 2021. Wasteful consumption of the abundant resources is worrying. If there is no proper action taken, it will make the effect of relative scarcity to be worse and can bring many effects to the environment. Capitalism is an economic system which has adopted market mechanism, competition, self-interest, and rational decision-making. It recognizes both absolute and relative scarcity. Therefore, economic agents need to make choices to allocate resources to their maximum utilization, and each choice involves an opportunity cost. On the other hand, socialism does not believe in the concept of scarcity, as they assume resources are abundant and unlimited in creating equality to everyone. Whereas Islamic economic approach is more efficient because it emphasizes moderation, fair distribution of wealth and resources, cooperation, and people need to be conscious of their duties as a slave of Allah and taking care of the environment at the same time. In solving the problem of scarcity, Islamic economy emphasizes moderation by redistributing the wealth, such as by zakat, wakaf, sadaqah, in upholding social fairness. Islamic economics suggests that we need to live moderately in order to prevent the economic resources to be wasted. As Islamic economy is known to be efficient, why are resources still depleting in countries that adopt Islamic economy? This may be due to individuals becoming blinded by the abundance of resources. Islam is a comprehensive religion, but it cannot control humans' behavior. Besides, technology development that is out of control alongside the growing population of humans also can contribute to the depletion of resources. In conclusion, there is no absolute scarcity in Islamic economy, but there is only relative scarcity since Allah is the absolute owner of all the resources in this world. From Surah Al-Am, verse 165.
وهو الذي جعلكم خلائف الأرض ورفع بعضكم فوق بعض درجات ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم إن ربك سريع العقاب وإنه لغفور رحيم.
From this verse, Allah had appointed us a special place to be the vicegerent in this world. In achieving Sustainable Development Goal 12, which is responsible consumption and production, we must play our role as the Khalifah in this world to ensure that all resources are used wisely, since it is responsibility given to us by Allah. Practicing a balanced consumption and production must not be ignored in achieving Allah's blessing. This will help maintain the preservation of the land and open to a more equitable access to the available resources. That is all from us. We hope that you can learn and spread the word together in order for us to alleviate the problem of scarcity.
I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got